What's up everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to your daily Bitcoin update. In general, I would say the situation is still the same as yesterday, alright? It's a pretty, in general, look, what's happening right now, and that's pretty interesting because it's a development that has, or was already going on yesterday, but what you can see right now is that the volume throughout the markets is dropping down quite low, all right? So if you go to the last month, for example, you can see that the volume basically since the start of May has had its spikes, and then in the weekend it always drops down. But there's a big downtrend in this. So is that bullish? I don't think so, all right? You need money in the markets. The more volume you have, the more liquidity you have in the markets, the more is possible with certain cryptos, right? So that's not looking great, but then if you look at Bitcoin, and if we purely technically talk about Bitcoin, I would say that this technical structure is still bullish. All right, you can see that the EMAs right here, since we got that bullish momentum last week, the EMAs have been slowly but surely moving up. We're also respecting support levels right here, even though we also got some bad news. So purely technically, we actually still look pretty good, but first of all, the volume dropping down like that is not a positive sign, but what it also means is that we can get some real volatility. All right, because what happens if the volume is very, very low, that means you need less money to actually move the price around. Usually it means that, all right? There's other things you need to look up, like order book depth and etc. But that is one of the key things you need to look at. And then if we look at Bitcoin right here, you can again see that every now and then we have some big buy orders coming in. So for example, that was also the case when we did the video yesterday. Had some big buy orders coming in, but then eventually we just dumped down. And that's yesterday we also, well, we did not dump down, but we did find resistance. So I would say that at this point of time, what's going to happen next with Bitcoin is very unclear. There are indications that we are bullish, but there's also plenty of indications, especially if you look at like the entire altcoin market, but also looking at the Bitcoin dominance, which is getting higher and higher, which normally is a sign of Bitcoin strength, but also of more bearish market circumstances. But then you look at the technicals. So those are two bearish things. But then you look at the technicals and you can see that we are trending up. We're making higher lows since that bottom in March. We're also making higher highs still. And that's also something we saw over the course of today. We're still getting some big buy orders. Like over the course of this morning or in the night, it kind of depends on where you're from. We also got some big buy orders, like worth over $700 billion. So we'll have to see, all right? I have to tell you, because in the end, this is a technical analysis. I have to tell you that I think it's most likely that we'll get a bullish breakout, right? So our main resistance level is this level right here between 71,500 and 72,500. I would say a break above 71,500 with some momentum is already enough to actually start rallying. And then, well, I'm not sure what my first price target would be, probably 75,000, but I will keep you updated on this as well. So this is what I think is most likely. It's also, I'm not sure whether it will last, all right? It's also kind of in line with the halving, which is, that we are ahead of the halving is also one of the reasons why the markets right now are quite difficult to interpret, I would say. But yeah, no, wait for that breakout. If the breakout is with momentum, so if the open interest also goes up while we break out, I think it can be trusted, and then we can actually get some bullish momentum. I think that's most likely, but in the end, I'll keep you updated on this, because what could also happen, and if that happens right now, I was wrong, but you should be prepared for it. But what could also happen is that we just drop down here, find support at 67,000 initially, but then just drop down below that and start dropping down again. So just keep that in mind, all right? It's a pretty difficult market to trade right now, and sometimes it's just best to stay out of it. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. This is the most likely scenario in my eyes after some more consolidation. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.